Welcome. Here we're going to talk about Microsoft Teams, how you're going to use it for normal chat with people one-on-one, Teams as a whole. If you've got a group of people, we can communicate together, how we use it for some file storage and also calendar items, Teams meetings, so we can join and collaborate and also make other phone calls as well. So firstly, starting Teams, you'll most likely find that it's already running on your machine if your company has set it up. If not, you might find it in the toolbar here in Teams like so. If not, and you do have it closed, you can bring it up from here, but you can also trigger it again from the start menu as well. But when you first get in there, what you'll notice, the first main item on the left-hand side here is the chat. And this is where you keep all the chats of everybody that you're speaking to. So you can see this one, we're talking to a chap called Bob Jones, and it's just a normal side-by-side conversation screen that you'll get when you are communicating with each other. So you'll find that when people like Bob will reply to you, it'll just pop up in your window. You can see, it's just popped in there. And I might just say, okay, and my mouse over this one. You can see I can then react to it accordingly. I can type a new message if I want. So go back to Bob. I can also put little comments on things like that, and I can hit reply and just have conversations like this and really just communicate with Bob on that sort of personal or professional level. So you can see, obviously, we can have multiple conversations going on at the same time, and we just keep track of them here. When something does come in that's new from Bob, it's just going to pop up in there with a little bold on there, and the counter will start to go up too, obviously. So when messages do come in like this, you can see it's gone bold, and that's how you know that there's something to view, and obviously have conversations. So really what we also would have in there is if we do need to share any files with Bob, we can do so in this little file section as well. And you can see here we can upload and share files with Bob in that chat. So we can obviously collaborate backwards and forwards with chat and files. We've also got the little plus here. We can add tabs as well. You can add a whiteboard and add all kinds of add-ons as well into the thing. For this demonstration, I'm just going to do the basic stuff, but you can obviously add applications in there for any channel, really, the Teams ones as well. So if we look on the Teams side here, this is more of a company-wide thing here. So what you'd have is things of a standard nature. So if we had people part of this Cozy Mouse general team, or even the sales team here, you can see the posts look a little bit different. They come up with like a subject line and then the body, and they become little chats in their own right. So I could put something in here, and when somebody does respond to it, it will then show up inside this section rather than starting a new post. So if Bob were to reply to this one, then you'd see it would pop up inside this little structure here. Like that, and you can see then we would reply inside this here. So it keeps the little posts themselves inside each individual structure there. But obviously we can start a new one, and you'd have a new one. Subject. Something like that. Obviously a bit trivial, but you get the idea. You can see how these posts would then appear in these particular items. And of course you'd have files. Now the files that are involved in these ones are a little bit more structured, because we have a general tab here. As you can see, there's nothing in the sales team one, but if I flick over to the Cozy Mouse team and have a look at the files in here, you'll see that it's got more of a structure. You might have, as you can see here, this is onboarding tasks, and the demo sheet. In the sales one, you can have anything related to any of these subjects, and then just put them in this whole file structure. And obviously you can then use those, collaborate those as a team. So that really is really what we're starting to see as replacements to shared drives now. Rather than have a document share on some file server somewhere, the shares are done inside the file section of each individual team. So really we can have like a finance team, a marketing team, or any other team that you want, and you then have the file structure accordingly inside that team. So just a quick recap then, we've got the chat here, which is really good for the one-on-one chat with your colleagues that you're talking to. And then you've got the teams themselves, which is where the teams get together and start collaborating together on various chats, and also on various file structures and and collateral which you might keep inside the team. Now, what you can do as well in here is if we were to have, let's say, this general tab here with this file, if you want to have these files available to you offline, what you can do, you'll notice already there's a sync button here. So if you look at your file explorer, you'll see that that's normal layout like so. But if I hit the sync here, what it will do for us and say, yep, we're going to use that folder. We've obviously done this one before, but we'll sync those files onto this machine. Now you can see here what it's done is it's now got the Cozy Mouse as a company tab, and we have Cozy Mouse General, which is the, as you can see here, that's the name Cozy Mouse, and then the General. This file structure here, as you can see, is a replica of what is here. Now this means that I can then have these files available to me, synced onto my machine. I can then actually even right click on these and say, yes, I want to always keep on this device, which means they are going to be available when I'm offline. You can see that goes accordingly there. And I can start to do things. I can even create new files. If I say create a new file here, test document, testing 1, 2, 3, let's say we do that. And let's say we put something in there, something like that. Just a very, very quick and easy file. But what we'll notice is when I go into this onboarding tab here, you can see straight away it's back in here as well. So you can see we can collaborate obviously on the team site here, and we can have the files downloaded onto our machine as well. Now do remember though that if I were in this one here and I've got rights to it, if I were to take this file and obviously delete it, you can see here we're getting a reminder that this file is deleted for everybody, not just me. So I can say, yep, I've got that, no problem. And we'll notice if we just wait for a second or two here, this file will then also disappear from this section too. And there you can see that's dropped out. So let's go into Calendar now. This is an exact copy, if you like, of the what you would see in Outlook. And if you looked at the other demo we had on Outlook, you'll notice this little catch-up meeting that we have scheduled here. So this calendar is a view of your calendar that you would normally see through your M365 portal, your Outlook, or your phone. It's all the same thing. So you can see we've got the catch-up here. So if I were to go into that one, what you'll find is we can have a look at it, and we get to see all the meeting details. Everything is there. And we can hit join. Now, if it's closer to the time, we'd have the join item will come up on that screen itself. But I can hit, if I were to hit join, if it was time for the meeting, I can hit join, and you can see that it'll then start that and say, you know, what do you want to do with your camera? What about your computer audio? How do you want to join this here? And I would then say join, and that will just connect, and that will actually wait. We've got the microphone plugged into this machine, but you can see it's saying now we're waiting for other people to join the meeting. So once we're in there, you'll get the other people will then join and become part of that, and they will pop up in this screen. So let's let Bob join this meeting as well. And if we do that, pop in, and you'll see how he joins. There we are. Bob Jones showed up. Now he's got his camera off as well. He'll show up like this, and all the people will show up. They'll have pictures if they've got their cameras on. But inside the meeting there, you can see that if I click on people, you can see who is part of the meeting. And that's good. And then obviously we can chat to them in the meeting there. You can say hello, and it's just a normal chat window for that particular meeting. We can raise our hand, we can react, different views, and we can also share screen too. If you wanted to share our screen with the entire meeting, we could do that. Now let's suppose I were to take Bob over here, and I'll share my screen, and I'll say, yep, I want to share a particular window, which might just be the team screen there. You can see now we get to see this is what Bob is doing on his screen. So it means we can do like a shared screen scenario. And once he pops out of that, and he says, no, I don't want to share that anymore, that will disappear. He says stop sharing. You can see it drops back to that normal screen. And then, of course, once we're done with our meeting, we would just hit leave. Now, there are some options in there as well. With more, we can record it and transcribe it too, which is good for later on. It will actually create like a transcription, like a subtitle thing for the meeting that you can replay later on as well. So we can hit that. As you can see, start recording there. and also other different video effects for the way your camera looks too. So that's all controlled inside the meeting itself. But once we're done with our meeting, we're just going to hit leave, and then we'll just come straight out and we can close that and go back to our normal Teams chat. Now with the calls here, if you do have a PSTN calling plan on your subscription, you'll have the ability to actually dial a number in here. Here I've just got the ability here to call people. So if I key in Bob's name like that, I can click on Bob and then I can hit call. That will actually start that call. If it's just an impromptu call, we don't have to set up a meeting to be able to call people. We can just do that, hit call. You can put multiple people on there as well. If you want to bring people together in that a quick meeting scenario, you can just call them, which is handy. But also on the left here, you've got files too. So these are files that you've been working on. You can see there's my files or anything that's shared with you. And you've got quick access to those other places that you've been as well. So this is a normal function of OneDrive with the SharePoint backend and everything with Teams. It's all interconnected. It's all part of the same experience that you have. So you can access them through Teams as well, which is sometimes handy if you've accessed files in there. You can get back to them, and it's the ones you've used recently. If someone sent you a file, you've been in there and you're not quite sure where it is, have a look in files, because most likely it's going to be on your recent list, which is going to be on here too. And lastly, on the top here with the activity, you can see what's been going on. If you want to catch up for things that you think you might have missed, you can see what's been happening with the activity inside your teams, whether it's the teams themselves or the individual chats and things. See if you've been added to a team. That sort of activity shows up in here. Now that covers that section, but I want to show you these little dots here because there's some settings in here around devices which are good to have. So if you've got the settings here, you've got all the main settings, you can explore those. But what we're interested here is devices. And this is where you then set up your audio devices, your speaker, your microphone, and other things. And you can also do a test call. So if you've got a new microphone, you want to see how it sounds and is it working correctly, then you can do the test call to make sure that's good. But you get lots of options, which are the standard setup about what microphone to use. You might have one on your laptop, you might have one on your earpiece as well, and you can then switch between those and work that out from there. So good to do when you're first setting up your teams. Go into the devices and learn about those. You can also set up the camera as well, and that'll be just down the bottom. As you can see here, I don't have a camera on this one, but you can see if we did, it would just have the name of the camera, and you can put the different settings about whether you want it to soften the picture or not, which is also another good setting to have. But that should be pretty much enough to get you going on Teams. Get started, get in there, start chatting with people, access the Teams, sync files down to your machine, and access the calendar, set up your devices, and join meetings, and have some fun inside Teams. Thank you for watching this session, and we'll see you on the next one.